Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the market close for November 1st, our first show of the new month. So that's pretty darn cool. Also, it's a Friday, so this is like your gateway to the weekend. I can't wait. We're going to have a lot of fun here today. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Yeah, the market's green. So, those of you who lived through yesterday, holy banana bread, we had a pretty darn red market. Now, we had expected a red market yesterday, not quite as bad, because when we did our market close on Wednesday, a few of those stocks were down, but Microsoft was holding out some hope. But yeah, by the by the end of the extended trading session, it was not. Microsoft was doing pretty bad, so they lost. They lost their footing, and it wasn't good. It wasn't a good day yesterday, but lots of great buying opportunities yesterday. Let's take a look at today. We'll see how the market is looking right now. All right, let's pull up the. There we are. There we are. Oh, it's pulling up a little more than just the thing. I may have to fiddle with that a little bit later. You shouldn't be getting that blue around the edges, but we've got the TSX nice in the green, up 0.38%. Now you'll notice we got a new line here, the blue line. This is our opening November line. So we'll see if we can stay above this line through the month. We did manage to stay in as a green month for October. As you can see, our purple line way down here. Well, we had a green October, and you know what? We don't need the purple line anymore. Let's just get rid of it. It's gone. We're worried about November now, and we may have a bit of instability between now and Tuesday because of that election, and maybe even a couple of days after, depending on how things pan out. So that's going to be fun. The S&P 500, they are also in the green, 0.49%. NASDAQ up 0.78%. Now, last night, Amazon had their earnings drop. They did okay. They certainly made people a little bit happy. And actually, I do have Amazon, I think, down here. You can see here, this is where they closed yesterday. Look at this massive price from 186 up to, well, they peaked up out pretty much. Well, they actually did break above 200. So that's not too shabby. They have some very good expectations for the next quarter, and investors loved what they had to say. So anyway, let's get back to the Dow Jones. Dow Jones is up 0.66%. Commodities not doing so well. Gold down 0.33%. Silver down 0.92%. WTI down a full 1.5%. Bitcoin, oh boy, here's our Bitcoin. Not doing well today, down 1.68%. Ethereum down, not as bad, 0.20%. Heading on over to the heat maps. Well, we got some green in here. We've also got a little bit of red. But overall, it's kind of a flat. There's nothing really exciting that's standing out. Maybe Nutriem up 1.67% might stand out a little bit. But there is somebody who is going to stand out, and I don't actually see them here. Let's actually get rid of the losers so that we can find our friend here, and we'll get rid of those, and let's even get rid of these. All right, now we can see. Here it is. Here's our friend right here, Air Canada. Holy banana bread. So those of you who have been following the channel for a while, in that 0 to 100K challenge, I set up this swing trade on Air Canada. And the goal was, while they were down, as you can see, down in here, I started it in here. So every month I was going to buy 5 shares of Air Canada when they were under 16, with the goal, because I figured eventually they'd get above 20, maybe in 2025. Well, holy banana bread. Well, look at them right now, 21.50. I did sell out of Air Canada today at 21. So, yeah, that was a successful little swing trade. And I will be very interested to hear how you guys did in that swing trade. Now, I just noticed something here. I am not seeing. There we are. There we are. I just noticed I wasn't seeing the comments. I had to hit a button so I could see them over there. All right, we're going to get to the comments here in a little bit, but I will be interested to know if any of you guys decided to follow me into that Air Canada play, because if you did, you've got a success story today. You absolutely got a success story with Air Canada. We'll talk a little bit more about why this is so big and what's kind of significant. There's something that happened today that is kind of interesting. All right, let's actually, I'm going to bring everybody back. We'll bring everybody back. We'll switch over to the United States. And here we can see, here's Amazon. They're up that 6% after their pretty good earnings last night. And we're starting to get some retracement. NVIDIA up 1.87. Microsoft up a full percent. So, you know, a little bit. Tesla still in the dumps down here, 0.62 down. Apple is still 1.43% down. So, all of that fun stuff. Over in the world of Bitcoin, oh boy, we got a lot of red. We got a lot of red. Bitcoin almost down 2%. Solana down 1.62%. Cardano is the only green that's kind of sticking out here. But as you guys know, there are so many altcoins out there, more than 14,000. And I'm just going to pick some random coin that I have never heard of. All right, cosplay token. This kind of sounds a little bit naughty, but we'll just leave it at that. It's worth about half a cent. It's one of the 14,000 crap coins that exist out there. At one point, though, they were worth almost 5 cents. But here's the thing: I don't want to know what this one's about, because listen, that name is bringing up images I do not wish to share. So yeah, we'll leave this one alone, the cosplay one. Yeah, there's so many of these. If you're going to invest in crypto, do that due diligence. I mean, and really do it. Stick to the coins that you have some faith in. Stick to those coins that are not a cosplay coin. Yeah, absolutely. Stick to the big ones. Stick to the ones that you know are going to do okay, like your Bitcoins, your Ethereums, your XRPs, for example. Anyway, those are all fun. I think it is time. I think it's time here to, let's get back to the main screen here, and let's hit the comments. All right. And we got Roku in first. Happy Friday. Absolutely. And if you guys notice, we do have a thing up there. Normally I ask you guys for 4 supers to get an extra show. I just put up a 1 super, and you get to see the new goat animation. It's nothing super, but you know, if somebody does that today, you'll get to see it. And knowing me, if nobody does it, I'll probably still show it by the end of the show anyway. I have no willpower like that. All right. Paul is saying, whoops, Uptober. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, things were up. It was volatile, and I said that going into October. I said, expect a volatile month, and I don't think we were disappointed. We got that volatility for sure. Ian says, hello all, bought some RMAX, bought some car parts, bought a one-way ticket to Colombia. Expensive day. Oh boy, are you going back to Colombia again, Ian? Oh boy, that's fun. Let's see. Let's see. TF got beat yesterday. I have not looked at TF today. Well, I did look at it briefly. Because I put out the 0 to 100K update, so that's on the community tab. But I did make a change to this. Now, I know that we did a vote recently to basically do a video update every quarter, but I was thinking, I'm like, you know, that's a little bit too long. So I'm going to sort of meet in the middle on this one. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a video update every second month. I think that's a little bit more reasonable. So there will be a video update for the 0 to 100K challenge on, I believe it's the 3rd of September, I think. Somewhere's at basically the first video in December. So that will be cool. All right, and we can look at TF a little bit later as well. Oh, I better keep my eyes on that time. It's like I'm not even paying attention to the time because we get a bell and everything, but all right. Let's see, Paul said, I thought you were going to say Fairfax. Really? Air Canada's even in the title. So, yeah, definitely. We'll look at Fairfax. I have not seen what they have done. I think they had earnings this week, so they may have done well. Bismarcky says, congratulations on Air Canada. Nice is in the house with a hi, all. Bismarcky, what's the next swing trade? That's a good question. That's a really good question. Obviously, if Air Canada retraces, I would go back to Air Canada. But I have a feeling they may not get back down to 15 again. And I'll explain why after the bell. Mary is in the house and a hi, all but TF. Well, if TF did a correction, absolutely. Nothing wrong with getting in on a little more TF for sure. All right. And guys, Mary's here. So that means you got to hit the like button. There's like 9 likes. Come on, guys. We should be in double digits. I'll have a cup of coffee while you guys fix that for me. Oh gosh, that's so good. There's nothing like coffee. I will definitely say that. Bismarcky says, nope, didn't follow the Air Canada trade. Oh boy. I know somebody was in here the other day and they thanked me for that Air Canada trade. And also, thank you for that 10th like. We're now in the double digits. I'm liking it. FFH, so Fairfax Financial, up 8.5%. Fairfax to acquire controlling ownership of Peak Achievement Athletics. So Bauer Hockey and others. Ooh, that's interesting. That is interesting. We need to take a look at TF. We also need to look at FFH after the bell. If I go look at it right now, I will miss the bell. I will absolutely miss the bell. I know it. 9 says, I finally get out of HMAX, fully put it into ENCL since oil has been going down. Yeah, oil hasn't had the best month. Oil doesn't seem to like the peace in the Middle East. So, yeah, not good at all. All right, we got about a minute and 10 seconds. All right, Michael says, let's see, Pfizer could be a buy, which had a big beat and announced a 0.42 dividend and fund invest $1 billion into the company much higher. Interesting. I know we had a big, we were looking at Pfizer. Was that the last? I think it was on the last market close. That could absolutely be very interesting. Jungle says, whoops, there we go. I bought a little extra XQQ this morning while it was down. My next regular buy is Tuesday. Nice. You see, and that sounds to me like what Jungle may be doing is a dollar cost average with a little put aside for some of these dips. So not too shabby. We got about 30 seconds for the bell now. Definitely 30 seconds. All right. I know Michael's next. We're going to wait till the bell. We'll wait till the bell because I do not want to miss the bell. All right. We got 10 seconds. Oh, dear. Ever since I missed the bell a couple of streams or so, a couple of market closes or so ago, I'm just like, I don't want to miss it again. Here we go. All right. And that's the market. The market is closed. Well, it's still open for after selling, but yeah, not too shabby. I'm liking it. All right. Michael says, why is RMAX selling off so hard today, and does it pay a dividend? All right, let's pull up some stuff here. We go over to the screen share. There we go. Oh, excuse me. Whew. that's just from coffee. All right, let's actually head over here. All right, we'll go to RMAX first. So this here is Hamilton REIT Yield Maximizer. All right. Now, as you guys know, I'm a huge fan of RMAX. And, and yes, it is down a little bit right now, but here's what I say. When you look, yeah, we had a big ride up. It's coming down a little bit. It's giving a good entry point at this point. I'm still very bullish on it. We did get more rate cuts. We got a 50 basis point rate cut just recently, and the next one is December 11th. I have a feeling that's probably going to be another 50 basis cuts. So we are looking at seeing some stuff happen here. Now, this one does have a pretty big dividend. So right now, the yield is sitting at 9.22%. But here, ex-dividend day, yesterday. So when you look at this drop, that's kind of normal when you're looking at, because you'll look right here, that drop is on the 31st. So that's that dividend, that big dividend being paid out. That's why it dropped like that. So that will, of course, it'll start rebounding back up. Now, those of you who were holding this before, if you bought it before yesterday, so the 30th of October and before, you're going to get yourself some nice dividends coming up here in, what is the day I actually don't know when they pay their dividends. Let's take a look and see. Here, we'll go over to key data. And here we go. So here was our ex-dividend day here, the 31st. So there we go on the 7th. So there you go. Basically, what is that? 6 days from now, you'll get your dividends. Well, actually, it'll be closer to a week, because usually what happens with dividends is your broker receives it on the 7th, and you usually don't see it enter into your account until the 8th. So yeah, so basically a week from today, you guys should be getting your sweet RMAX dividends. All right. There was also mention here before the bell, Timber Creek Financial. Let's pull them up. And let's see here. Oh, we got a little bit of a drop here. All right, let's come in here. We'll come in here. Let's go into the 6 month. So, oh boy, that is a big drop. Look at that. Drop from 824 to 753. That's very interesting. But let me take a look here. Once again, we've also got, whoops, we got a big yield, 9.103%, and ex-dividend day was yesterday. So this drop right here, as you can see, was yesterday, their ex-dividend day. Now that was definitely a big drop, because you also have to keep in mind, yesterday the market was absolutely tanking. So you add that tank plus the plus that drop for the ex-dividend date. That's why we got this drop. This should be coming back up after pretty soon. So I'm not too concerned about it. All right. Now the other one that was mentioned was Fairfax Financial. Fairfax. Let's see here. Fairfax. What is it? FFH, right? There we go. FFH. So up 9.12% today. Oh, that's not. I mean, look at this. That's just in 5 days. They've gone from 1739 to 1888. Pull this out over the year. This is a company that has been doing really, really well. And now, of course, there was that announcement of that acquisition of Bauer. Yeah, that sort of really, investors really liked that, as you can see from, this is a really good one. Now, the other thing too, is you also want to take a look and see how exactly did they do with their earnings. And well, let's find out. FFH. We'll add them. Here we go. Let's come down here. FFH. Here they are right here. Their earnings. You can see green. Look at this. Since their earnings report, that's a nice stairway. Nice stairway. That's like the stairway to heaven. I mean, now I think I owe Led Zeppelin like a quarter now, but let's take a look here. So their earnings per share, they creamed it, 14.88% above what they were expected, and their revenue, they also kicked butt there too, up 5.48%. So that's not too shabby. You get good earnings, plus that acquisition news that the shareholders are liking, and well, this is the type of thing you get when everything sort of falls together into the right place. So Gotta say. Perfect. All right. Up next, we got Bleak in the house with a hey, hey. We have Vineet with a hi, everyone. All right. And now Michael says, the one I was talking about is RMAX that closed at 11.19 today. Oh, okay. I think you're talking about, um, whoops. Uh-oh. There you go. You saw the goat. You didn't see the animation, but you saw the goat. Actually, you didn't. You didn't because... Sorry. I was in a window that I'm not sharing. Oh, thank God. You didn't see the goat. Okay. I'm good. All right, let's... all right, so you were talking about... And there are two RMAXs. There's also this one over here. This is the US RMAX right here. All right. So, Remax. Okay. Now, I think, if I remember correctly, I think they were like a real estate. Yeah, real estate brokerage services. So, that's, rate cuts. And the US has only just started. Now, there is this week coming up. The Fed is meeting for their next rate decision. Most analysts are expecting it to be not a lot, 25 basis points. I think that's where the odds are at this point in time. But yeah, we can see that they had a bit of a drop, and then they've had a little bit of a rise here. Let's just take a look. Yeah, they don't have a dividend at all, Michael. So no dividend. But let's see. Did they have earnings today? They might have. Whoops. Well, that wasn't... there we go. Let's pull these back together here. There we go. All right. All right, let's go to that RMAX Holdings. This one here. Bang. And we'll bring it up. Here's their earnings right here. So, yeah, they had a... This drop happened pretty much... it looks... Well, let's see. Yeah, it kind of started... Then here was their earnings report. So it almost looks like their earnings were bad, but I do see green. But let's take a look here. So their earnings were not that bad. Earnings-wise, they were up 6.60%. Revenue-wise, they were up 0.45%. So that's interesting. It's interesting, but there was something that they didn't like. Because look at this. That gap tells me something the investors didn't like in there, and I don't know what it is. But something. Now, because of the strength of their earnings, after people sort of got over whatever it is they didn't like, we did see some recovery starting to happen towards the end of the day. So that's always not too shabby. All right. Air Canada. I want to, I got Air Canada here. Let's go to Air Canada for a moment. So as you can see with Air Canada, we had a big boom here. Let's get rid of some of these. We don't need this. I don't know why. I have some lines here on Air Canada. Yeah, this was huge. Like, they absolutely exploded. A couple of things. So when you look at their earnings, they did, on their actual earnings themselves, they did come in huge. 58.41% up on those earnings. So that's massive. Revenue, up 0.46%. So these are big. Now, I will point out, though, even though these are in the green, Air Canada is still, they're still not really profitable. And that's fine. They kind of know that they're not going to be profitable for a while. But why are people all excited for that? We're going to go over to this one here. Let me just pull up Air Canada. All right, here we go. And we're going to go back to our 5-year. So as you know, here is the pandemic. So when Air Canada hit that pandemic, they crashed hard and they had a lot of share dilution. So with share dilution, you're printing a whole bunch of extra shares. That lowers the price of your shares. That's one of the reasons that we know that they're not going to get back up to like that $50 mark. Whoops. There we go. That was just an ad coming in. They're not going to get back to that $50 mark because of the share dilution. Well, you can undo share dilution. To undo share dilution, you buy back shares. That is one of the things that Air Canada has announced today. They're going to start buying back shares. So what that's going to do is that will shrink the amount of outstanding shares, and those if you're not one of the ones who sold back your shares, your share price will go up. And that's kind of like it's kind of the exact opposite of a dilution. So basically, they're looking at buying back shares. Now, I don't know the exact number they're looking. It's not going to undo all of this. They diluted a lot of shares, but they're going to start buying some of them back. So for that reason, and I said if they probably may not get back down to this little $15 area that I was having a lot of fun with. So the odds are, if I wanted to do another swing trade with them, my bottom area can't be 15. It's probably, like under 16 is where it was. I would probably at this point say if I'm going to do it again, probably under 18 might be something to look at. But I'd have to see, first of all, I need to see how many shares they're buying back, because what I can do is I can do a statistical analysis. If I look at how many shares they're buying back, and I don't even know how many shares that were diluted, it doesn't matter, but I can actually work out where that bottom technically would be just by doing a little bit of math, and I can figure that out. So I may do that again, but I might also look for another target as well. But this just happened to be a perfect target. And what I loved about this, and part of the idea of doing that swing trade, was that people would be talking about Air Canada a lot to me on the chat, talking here. So, and I talked a lot about, where I thought things were going. And I was like, you know what? Let's just put some money where my mouth is on this one, and we'll put that right into the challenge. And that was the reason I did it, is because I thought it was a perfect way to illustrate a long-term swing trade. Now, I will admit, I was wrong on a few things. What I was wrong about is how fast we were going to get $20. I did not expect it to be at that fast, because I honestly will tell you, I thought that we would get to $20 around towards the end of Q1 of 2025, maybe even Q2 at the beginning, somewhere in that vicinity, around where they meet, where Q1 and Q2 meet. That's what I was envisioning. But Air Canada responded well to the rate cuts, and then they blew their they blew this earnings out of the water, and announcing the buybacks, that just put the nail in the coffin for this one. And and the funny thing is, I was planning to sell at 20. I quite early this morning it went up to like 21 almost immediately, and I just very quickly put in a stop loss at because it was a little bit above 21. I put in a stop loss at 20, and it then fell right back down almost a second I had the stop loss in. So it was like, oh, sold that pretty fast. So yeah. So right now I currently hold no Air Canada. It's all gone. It is all gone. Now I did over on the Discord, and here's the thing, I don't have a lot to play with in the challenge because we set the rules up, and the reason we're using the values that we're using in that challenge is we're trying to sort of simulate a newer investor coming into the market. So, I didn't have a lot. Like, I just started it. I think I only had 3 months, and I was going to buy 5 each month, and I did. I had 15 shares. I wish now that I'd been a bit more aggressive and maybe went with 10 shares. But over on the Discord, we have the 0 to 100K challenge section. And here's basically this turned out to be a 37.25% swing. So that was the profit, 37.25%. So that's not too shabby on a swing. Real dollars, it worked out to like $85.50. Not a lot, but if you're a new investor and you don't have a lot in your portfolio and you pull off a swing that makes something like this, you're like, oh my God, that's like, that's almost 1/5 of what I normally get every month to do the investing. So that's not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. I love it. I love it. All right. Let's see, where am I at? Kenneth says, when I heard the Air Canada news today, I wish I had bought in when we chatted about Air Canada last week. Oh yeah, it happens. It happens. What can you say? Kenneth is asking Jungle, why you buy XQQ instead of QQC? Well, there we go. Tom says, I wish Wealthsimple had stop loss, but I'm happy with what I got. I sold at 21.20 for a profit of 28,300. That's not bad. Is that what your profit was? 28,300? Yeah, that if that's your profit, Tom, that's not bad. That's not bad. You can't complain about that. Now I thought with Wealthsimple, I thought they have I think they have a stop loss. I think it's just called limit order, or limit loss or something. It's time to pull out. Whoops! It's time to pull out Wealthsimple here. Because I know I'm normally doing a lot of these trades over on. Come on, guys, let me in. Let me in. All right, there we go. It accepted my fingerprint. I'm just gonna grab any old thing here. All right. So when I go to sell, all right, here we go. So yeah, you have this thing here, and I'll show you. Let me go full screen here. Here we go. All right, let's see here. You should be. Can you see here at the bottom? That stop limit. That's where you're going to use that. So stop limit is going to be your thing. There you go. Oh, look at that. You can see the reflection of a Lego AT-AT walker. Oh, dear. All right. I'm just going to close that up there. But, yeah, so you can. You can. It's just slightly different terminology. All right. Manto says, are you out of AC or still have some? I'm completely out at the moment. I'm completely out. I'm kind of at that point where I'm thinking, gosh, what's my next move? 5,025 shares. Holy banana bread, Tom. That's not bad. Yeah, so you probably are looking at that. That's just huge. To me, that's huge. I am very happy that you got. That's a nice move. Oh boy. I'm like I don't want to say I'm flabbergasted, but I love to see when success stories like this come through. So good move, Tom. Good move for sure. And Manto is following it as well. Let's see. I sold all but 100 just to see what happens. Yeah. And that's the thing, guys. It's not 100%, right? You can look at a partial, right? Like some people will say, okay, you know what? I'm just going to take my initial investment out. So let's say you invested 5,000 in Air Canada, and then you had what happened today. Some people might say, I'm just going to take 5,000 out right now. I will leave the rest in because then no matter what, I'm ahead of the game. Everything I'm playing with is profits. Some people will do it that way, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with taking it all out too. So, just something. All right. So Wealthsimple has limit loss. Doesn't work the same. Really? See, I've never played with it. Now I need to play with it and take a look and see how that one works. Yeah, I don't like that. They definitely, because stop loss, to me, a stop loss is very, very important. So yeah, it's one of those things too that, if it doesn't work that way, I think enough of us, we probably need to start giving our feedback to Wealthsimple because they do tend to be receptive to what people want. And it seems to me odd that it wouldn't work the same way as it works with every other broker. All right. Jonathan says, I missed it. Oh, no. Oh, no. All right. Amanda says, any of these for good entry at this point? Telecoms, AQN, totally destroyed at this point. TD. Well, TD, I have a feeling there's still a bit more pain. They're going to recover, but you got to look at, too, when you're looking at making moves, like swing trades as well. One of the reasons Air Canada was a great target was because of its price. Having $16 means that you can buy a lot more shares than what you could buy if, let's say, TD, where's, what is that, they're around $70 or so. So you can buy a lot more shares of something smaller. So sometimes if you're looking, and it depends on how much you have. I mean, if money's not really a limit, like you're like, it doesn't matter, I'll buy 1,000 at this price or 1,000 at that price, then it probably doesn't matter so much. But if you're especially if you don't have a lot of money, maybe going for a smaller price and looking for a smaller priced swing trade, you can at least get more, because you have to look at it that, if for every penny that it goes up, you basically want, you want to make more off of every penny. And that's where, if you take, for example, let's say, if you have 1,000 shares of a stock and it goes up 1 penny, well, that's like $10 right there. So that's not too shabby. Whereas if you only have 100 shares and it goes up a penny, you've only made $1. So it really depends. Like, especially if you think about day trading. So one form of day trading is called scalping. And that's where you're basically buying larger amounts of a stock, and you're only looking for it to go up maybe 3, 4, 5 ticks. So in other words, it may only go up 5 cents, but you have enough significance of what you've invested in it that 5 cents, is, you might have, let's say you had 1,000, or let's say you had 2,000. So you're making like $20 every single. So that 5 cents might be $100, just bang right there. So a lot of times with scalper, they're coming in and they're grabbing, they're grabbing $100. They're grabbing another $100. They're grabbing another $100. And they might do a whole bunch of those. And by the end of the day, they might have done that. They might have done it at, I wouldn't say 100, but let's say they did it, 50 times. That starts to add up really fast. So, not that I'm saying you guys should be day trading. You probably shouldn't. Most people will not do well at day trading. It takes a certain type of person, I think, to do it really, really well. Okay. Andrew says, I mentioned Air Canada to a friend, but I could have put in some myself. Oh boy. Did your friend put any in? That'd be kind of curious to find out. If they did and they made some money, you should say, now you owe me a coffee, my friend. Now you owe me a coffee. Tom says, yeah, I agree 100% about stop loss. Wasn't happy. I think even Weeble has a stop loss. Yeah, I'm really, really surprised. Because that's very basic. That is definitely a very basic function. So, yeah, they gotta have it. They if they don't have it, they gotta do something about that. I do not like that at all. All right, AQN is 660 now. Yeah. And the funny thing is, I mean, you can look at AQN. There's one of the interesting things. I mean, AQN, a lot of their, a lot of what they do is completely regulated. That's supposed to bring a lot of stability to a utility. So AQN, it's just, I don't understand them. They just very, very, very well excel at failing. And I don't know why. I don't know why they fail as bad as they do. And right now we're in an environment with rate cuts. Those are fantastic for utilities because utilities do carry a good amount of debt. They're very capital intensive. That should be good for Algonquin. And they have shown some, like if we look at them, and let's actually pull this up here. Let's go. All right. Here we go. All right. Let's get over to, where am I? I'm going the wrong direction. Okay. All right. When we look at AQN right now. All right. 664. So they've retraced a little bit here today, but let's go back. Let's go back a year. And you can see, I mean, they've had quite a fall. And I mean, even look right now. What the heck is going on with them? Like, they got a little bit and then bang once again. So yes, there's been a little bit of a retracement, but You don't have anything. When you look at another, like let's just take Fortis, for example, another utility company. When you look at the general shape that they have, and let's go back to that 1 year, you can see here's where they were struggling during the aggressive rate hikes. And then once we got to June, they had this nice solid rebound. That's what we need to basically see. That's what we need to be seeing on a solid utility. Another utility, Enbridge. Let's take a look at Enbridge. All right. Apparently, Enbridge is snowed in right now. Give me a second here. We'll try that one more time. Enbridge. There we go. And when we go to that 1 year, you'll see it's the same thing, and they were even doing a little bit better in the earlier part of the year as well. But, and this little retracement that we've had the last few days, they've actually fared that pretty well. So that's not too shabby. That's the type of thing we want to see with Algonquin. We're not seeing that. And what has me most worried about that is that if Algonquin was any other utility company and I was looking at them at this point, I would be like, okay, yeah, this needs to start going up. This might be a great swing trade. But Algonquin just has a history of every time it looks like they should start to rebound, they just go and they serve you up a dog's breakfast once again. It's just not good. It's not good. So, I don't know. I think Algonquin is one I will just pass on. Even if it looks like everything is great and they should be going full forward up, I think I'd still pass on them for the time being. I don't have any faith in Algonquin at this point. There's a reason on my last deep dive of Algonquin, I had their name on the side of a dumpster fire. Yeah, I can't do anything with them. All right, super microcomputer just keeps going down. Yeah. There's so much wrong over with super microcomputer. And, part of it, of course, Manto, the fraud, super micro fraud. Yeah, it's going to be one of these ones. And even right now, where tech is having a little bit of a struggle, well, to a certain extent, it depends on how you look at it. Because, if you look at what's been going on here, like we'll go with Microsoft, MSFT. And let's go to the last year. And we'll put this up. All right, so here you can sort of see, still overall, it's still mostly an upward trend. You have this one little bump up here, but, basically tech does good. Everybody then gets kind of worried. Tech does good. Same idea. And this is kind of what we've been seeing. And right now we're down in here again because we had another one of these little moments. But tech is going to be fine. Once we start to see these AI agents, that's going to start changing these game for tech. And we're going to start seeing how they're going to be making money from AI. That's what the investors right now are more worried about than anything else. Like, show us some profits. Show us some AI profits. Don't show us how much you're spending on AI. We want to see some returns on AI. So, there's a lot of stuff in the works. There is definitely a lot of stuff in the works. Now, one of the dangers, though, is with NVIDIA, is right now they're the only ones who really have the chips that you need for AI. They're, nobody is even close to them, but there are a lot of companies that are starting to say, let's try to make our chips ourselves. One of them is actually OpenAI. OpenAI is thinking of making their own chip. I know Microsoft is looking at it as well. So if one of these companies actually succeeds and makes a chip that works, I don't want to say works, but works at a level that NVIDIA does, that could be bad for NVIDIA. The good news is that I don't think they'll get even close to NVIDIA. NVIDIA has been doing this for a long time, and they're continually improving. So It's not like they're it's not like OpenAI, Microsoft, anybody else trying to design a chip right now. They're not chasing a non-moving target. They're chasing a moving target. So that makes it much more difficult, just to sort of keep that into perspective. All right. And Reverend Ramirez says Hydro One looks nicer than AQN or even ENB if you look 5 years. Yeah, I love Hydro One. It's a great company. In fact, if you have not yet seen today's video is a deep dive on Hydro One. So definitely check that out. If you haven't yet, check it out after the stream, or go have supper and then check it out tonight or over the weekend. All of that fun stuff. But yeah, I am liking Hydro One, and we'll pull it up. Why not? All right, here it is, Hydro One. All right, now of course it's funny. Whenever I pull it up and you see the 5 day, it's like that doesn't look that great. But here's the 1 year. I mean, this is pretty good. Here's the 3 year, pretty darn good. And as the good Reverend was saying, look at the 5 year. 5 year, pretty darn good. We can go out 10 years. Still pretty good. I mean, there's a little bit right there, but that's fine. That's a normal thing. They have been doing fantastic. Absolutely. So Hydro is definitely a very good choice, in my opinion. All right. We have Enid in the house with a good afternoon and a happy Friday. Happy Friday to you as well. Oh yeah, I wanted to talk a tiny bit about last night. So trick-or-treaters. I don't know about you guys. I bought a ton of candy for the trick-or-treaters because we normally get a lot. Last night, we did not. This is the first year that I can say, like, I would say we probably got maybe a third of what we normally get for trick-or-treaters. Now, it was a beautiful day. We had a 24 humididex yesterday. So, pretty darn warm. But in the evening, it was nice until maybe about 8 o'clock. And then it started to get a little rainy. But, yeah, the trick-or-treaters just weren't out there. There weren't that many. So, I don't know. Did you guys notice a drop last night? Like, I'm just wondering if this is a thing. Maybe people are just like, it's no time to trick-or-treat anymore. So, yeah, last night, not that great. But, it just means that now there's a big bowl of candy downstairs that we have to do something with. Fun. Quite literally, once I realized, and I will put this out, once I realized that we were getting a very low number of trick-or-treaters, I started giving them more. Like the last one who came got as big of a handful as I could muster. I think they were looking at it. They were looking like, what's going on? Why are you giving me so much? But it's like, yeah, it's got to go. It's got to go. Unfortunately, that was just like, even though normally after 8 o'clock, we normally still get, like 3, 4, 5, maybe stranglers, not stranglers, but stragglers. Well, they could be dressed as stranglers, but we get some of them that pop through, and we only got one right around 8 o'clock. That was just, but it was the best costume of the night. It was an inflatable raptor with glowing eyes, and I was just like, that's pretty darn cool. Costumes were never that cool when I was a kid. So, what can I say? But the other thing too I noticed this year is that a lot of kids were dressed as SWAT agents. So I'm like, that's different. I honestly don't think I've ever seen anybody dressed as a SWAT agent. So that was Halloween yesterday for Ottawa. Just to put that into perspective. Now, Reverend Ramirez says it was beautiful in Toronto, very busy in my hood. Oh yeah. See, and I like it to be busy. I look forward to looking at all the costumes and handing out the candy. So yeah, I like it. Unlike where my mom lives, although she's just actually sold her house, but she lives in a little bit rural area out in Beaverbank, and the years I was there, You know, you'd be lucky if you got 5 trick-or-treaters the whole night. It was like, what the heck? You could just buy a small bag of something. Heck, with 5 trick-or-treaters, just buy 5 chocolate bars or something. You know, the full-size ones. Just hand those out. But, yeah, yeah. Probably the worst time ever is Calgary. I know one time in Calgary, I was doing handing out the stuff, and I actually ran out. And at that point, when I ran out, I went to the cupboard to see what I had. So the kids that towards the end of that night ended up getting things like Nutri-Grain bars, because that's all I had. So a bunch of Nutri-Grain bars. Yeah. Anyway, that's Halloween for you. That's Halloween for you. What can you say? All right. Oh gosh, I'm gonna have a cup of coffee here. Oh yeah, very very good. I'm definitely loving it. Okay. Um, all right, guys. Sunday on this week, it is our first show of November. That means a couple of things. One, it means that I got some free memberships to give away. So we're gonna have memberships dropping, usually about 10. Sometimes I get a little crazy and do 11. So we'll have to see if I get crazy or not. It's also when we open up the subscriber sponsored video. So the way that works is, you know, if a lot of people sometimes have those, whether it be an ETF or a stock that just never wins the vote, because we normally do a vote to get our deep dives. So this is your opportunity to say, I'm skipping the line. We're gonna get a deep dive on this company. So we're gonna do that again. Now, how that works is the first person who drops a $20 super chat or super sticker, they get it. We are adding one tiny rule. One tiny rule. Last time, I got a penny stock. Not just a penny stock. A penny stock that was brand new. So we didn't even have very much data to work with. I had pretty much nothing. It was like going in blind. So going forward, the only request is that it's not a penny stock or a brand new stock that just like opened up yesterday type thing. So those are the two that just keep those rules in mind when we get to Sunday, and I will of course reiterate that on Sunday as well. So anyway, that's gonna be what's going down on Sunday. I'm pretty darn excited for it. You know, it's that opportunity. I think the first one we did, I ended up doing an ETF for Australian banks. I was like, I would never have thought to look at these Australian banks, and they were actually pretty darn good. So I did like that quite a bit. All right. Reverend Ramirez says, I'm not sure if you into crypto, but Bitcoin seems to be rallying. I have BTC and ETF sorta. Okay. So yeah, BTCC, that's a pretty good, actually in the challenge, I got BTCC.B. So that's the one that's hedged to the US dollar. So, yeah, no, I'm a big fan of crypto. Now, here's the thing with, well, let's get back to our Bitcoin. Ooh, up here at the top. So yeah, here's our Bitcoin for the day. And one of the things I was mentioning as well is, and I kept on drawing this because it wasn't breaking, and it finally broke, but unfortunately it didn't break to the upside. Let's actually move this down to the downside. It broke to the downside, and it broke pretty much as it would. I would have much rather it broken to the upside, but one of the things I've been talking about with crypto is that I needed to get to the all-time high before the end of October. We got within 200 of it. So I'm still pretty bullish going into November. I think right now there's a lot that's hinging on the U.S. election. So I think we're going to need to see, and that election is coming up, I think, Tuesday. So once that election has happened, it's going to be very interesting to see. Now, if Donald Trump wins when it comes to Bitcoin, you're probably going to see an explosion. No doubt about it. Probably a little bit less. I think if Kamala wins, Bitcoin might sort of, I don't think it's going to go, I don't think it's going to be like a big crash. It might go down a little, but I think it'll be more of a holding pattern to see. But as it is now, we're already at a point where on the exchanges, there's such a shortage. Like they're really running very low inventory of Bitcoin. So the fact that it hasn't exploded to me is actually kind of it's kind of silly that it hasn't happened yet. But expect to see more volatility between now and Tuesday. You might even see it come down and retest a little lower, maybe over the weekend. It's hard to say. It's hard to say at this point. It boils down to let's just get this election over. That's what it boils down to. Get the election over. Let's see what we can accomplish. And either way, I'm still bullish. I think long term on Bitcoin, whether Trump or Kamala wins, it doesn't matter. That to me, that's more of a short-term effect if one of them wins over the other. All right. Whoops. All right. And let's see, an ETF. Yeah, the BTCC. Absolutely. Manto says, in Ottawa, it was quite busy for us. Yeah. Guess it depends on where you live in Ottawa, I guess. For some reason, my street just wasn't busy this time around. See you Sunday. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Sunday, my favorite day of the week. I do love doing that Sunday live stream for sure. All right, Paul says, Halloween. Wife put out the candies we don't like and the Greek licorice candies. Self-serve. The Ring camera recorded it all. Little kids saying to parents they only grabbed one each. They only grabbed one. Other kids wanted. That's it. Wow. Because you always see, I see all these YouTube videos where you get these kids, the bowls out there, and it says, please only take one each. And they're like filling their bags, like half dumping them out. So that's fine. I mean, like I said, I really like looking at the costumes. So I suppose having a camera would be another way to do it. But I don't mind. It's fun. I'm pretty good with that for sure. A couple of other little things. I got a new kind of series that we're gonna start on actually on Tuesday. Let me pull this up here. So those of you who don't know, over on the Discord, so we do have a Discord. There is a link below. That's where you can find the schedule because I keep things scheduled. So right now you can see we're scheduled all the way up to January. And now we are adding the financial blogmas. We're gonna have one of these every single day from the 1st to the 24th of December. So that's going to be crazy. They're all going to be little live streams, probably in the horizontal format, maybe. I have to figure that part out, but they're going to be little live streams, maybe 15, 20 minutes, something like that every day. Kind of in a blogmas style, but I'll bring a financial slant to it for sure. But yeah, so coming up, we're going to do this interesting thing here. So on the 5th, it's going to be investing easy mode, and we're going to look at ETFs. So some people, we talk a lot about stocks, but there are some people out there that very much prefer to have much easier investing. They're looking at getting a diversified portfolio with ETFs because they're very easy to, well, they are easy mode. So we're actually going to do a little bit of series on the easy mode. So this one here is going to be more or less, here, I'm going to actually, let's edit this. And I'll just put this in here. So this one's going to mostly be your blue chip. So these are going to be these ETFs that you can basically buy, forget. They're going to give you a half decent total return. They're also going to be blue chip, so you don't have to worry very much about, is this ETF going to disappear in 5 years? Probably not. So, what we're also going to do, I'm thinking of doing a blue chip one. I think I'm going to do an income one as well, easy mode income. I think those are the two that I'll probably do in here. So the other one will probably happen probably in November. I'll probably get them both out in November because I think these will be pretty darn good. So I can't wait. I definitely can't wait for that. I haven't filled in, we may have, and I'm just going to put this out here. Right now, I am in talks with Evolve, actually. So they might sponsor a video. I'm not sure yet. I gave them their pricing, and they messaged me today and said they're taking it to the board. So we'll have to see. But yeah, I may do a sponsored Evolve video. So that could be kind of fun. I do like Evolve. They have some pretty good ETFs. So we'll have to see. That's kind of tentative. Otherwise, it'll be a obviously we'll do a vote. But if they do, if they want a sponsored, if they're if they want a sponsored video, we'll get one in there. We'll fit it in. Don't worry. And that's the whole thing. I've been talking about sponsored videos for a while, and as I said, it has to be a company that I respect. It has to be a company that I would buy their product. Evolve is a company like that. So I'm actually tickled pink with Evolve. So yeah, like, and if you guys think, oh, have I heard of an Evolve ETF? Well, Bank is an Evolve ETF, for example. So, we'll see. I can't, nothing's guaranteed at this point, but you never know. You never know. All right, let's take a look here. Jungle says you should have a Wednesday open. So an open and a close on Wednesday. Holy banana bread. That would be pretty busy. But, as I said, I do the occasional market open. So, and I know, I thought about doing one yesterday morning, but I just didn't have the, I had too much going on. But yeah, we'll definitely get another one in there, probably sooner than later. I'll definitely have one in November, no doubt. No doubt about it. All right. Paul says, child wears Justin Trudeau costume. Get the treat, but will not step down from the porch. Cartoon. Oh, that was a cartoon. Okay, that's funny. That's funny. I actually jokingly said if I run out of treats, I'd put up a sign saying, the carbon tax took the rest of your treats. It was just a joke, though. I really wouldn't do that, but it would be kind of funny. All right, guys, we're almost at 5 o'clock. So if you got your last minute questions, let's get them in here. That would be kind of cool. Paul says, so not Hamilton ETFs, like the King of Covered Call ETFs YouTube channel. No. I mean, I'd be more than willing to. I mean, I do like Hamilton ETFs. I probably won't sing a swan song, or I'm gonna be very real with, even if I'm doing a sponsored video, I'll be very real with it. I'm not going to sort of what's the words? I'm not going to tell you guys a bunch of BS. And that's one of the reasons that I've been very picky. That's one of the reasons that you have not seen a sponsored video for a crypto casino on the channel. Not going to happen. It's just not going to happen for sure. All right. Oh, God, that's good. I'm still loving it. All right. Well, guys, you guys are a little quiet today. That's fine. I don't mind. It's a quiet day. All right, I did mention, let's go back. I put up the thing if you guys wanted, I put up that goal of 1 to see the goat, but I told you I probably would break down and show you the goat anyway. So let's do that. Let's actually bring the goat up. Give me a second here. I want to pull us back to, whoops. we accidentally went into this week. That's actually funny. All right. This is it. Market close. All right. All right. Just quickly here. Tim says, do you think the CAD will be down for a while? Worth waiting to buy U.S. stocks? I actually have a story on this week about the Canadian dollar. So there are some analysts out there that think there's a good chance it's going to be down for a bit. In fact, getting down as far as 70 cents is not unreasonable. And in a worst case scenario, even 68 cents. So I would, I think right now it's going to definitely keep going down. Part of it is that our economy, we need the rate cuts. The U.S., their economy, not as much. And as a result, I think the Bank of Canada is going to be forced to be a bit more aggressive. And that also means, I've talked about that buffer, that we have this buffer that, we can stay within and it usually won't hurt the Canadian dollar. But I think we're going to have to actually break out of that buffer before this is over and done with. So yeah, I I think they're going to go down further, to be honest. All right, or it's going to go down further. Jonathan says, haha, carbon tax took your treats. Yeah, it was a thought. Like I said, it was a thought. I would love Evolve eBank. Yeah. Well, if they go for it, they'll tell me which ETF they want. I'm not gonna. It's not like I don't think I'll get a choice. I don't think I'll be like, I want to do bank or I want to do eBank or I want to do life. So yeah, definitely. Paul says $1 USD get as bad as 145 Canadian. Yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see how where it gets or how far it goes. Yeah, it's I don't think it's going to be good in the short term. It's just all of the dominoes are lined up perfectly. All right, I did say I would show you guys the new goat graphic. So all right, here we go. Here it comes. Oh, there we are. So there is the goat graphic. That's the one we're going to use, and I can get rid of it, bring it back, get rid of it, bring it back. Pretty easy. So it's nice, easy to use. I don't know if it'll be the end graphic for forever, but for now, we got something. It gives us something. So there we go. We have a goat graphic. I definitely love it. Now I also have to actually have to put the goat graphic on every screen because right now it's only on this one, so I have to put it on the other ones as well. But I'll get that all taken care of. All right, everybody. Let's have a great weekend. I think it's going to be fantastic. Oh, give me 1 second here. Mario quickly came in. I had Evolve Life, TSX 60. It was low volume back then. Yeah, I mean, Evolve, they're growing for sure, and they do have some pretty good ETFs. So we'll definitely talk more about it, but we have to wait. Like nothing's been inked yet. Nothing has been inked yet. It could very well be the board could look at it and say, that channel's too low. It's too small for the money they're asking. And it's not like I'm asking for anything astronomical, but we'll have to see how that goes. Tom says, as of today, the US dollar is at 139 on Wealth Simple. Yeah, exactly. Right now, just give me a second here. Hey, where is my mouse? My mouse has disappeared. Oh, there we go. Sometimes my mouse will go all the way over onto the laptop, and that's where it was. So it wasn't completely disappeared. But right now, the Canadian dollar right now is sitting at 71.65 USD. So, we're down there a little bit. All right, you're inked in. Maybe. I mean, I'll take a look and see if anything came through yet. No, nothing yet. So I won't hear till I probably won't hear till next week whether or not that we move forward with that. So, one way or another. Can I call Raj for you? No. Well, I'm okay. I figure, the person who did reach out from Evolve likes the channel, likes what I'm doing. So, we'll stick with that. I think that there is fine. All right. Anyway, everybody, this has been another great show. We'll see you here on Sunday. Sunday. That's the show you don't want to miss. It's going to be fantastic. Until then, have yourself a fantastic weekend. Enjoy the whatever warmth you still have left, because I have a feeling we're not going to get any more 20 degree days before the end of the year. That's for sure. All right, everybody. Take care. Have a fantastic weekend. Bye.